So, that's pretty bad. And so just imagine when you hear about Jacob's trouble, it's going to be worse than that. So, even the Lord says, I will feed your oppressors their own bodies and they will drink their own blood like sweet wine. So that just gives you a glimpse of how bad it's going to be for the oppressors. But for us, we can just, have faith, do the best we can, and use these principles in storing. So again, simple items that you use every day. And the reason I say that is because some people will type in emergency survival food and see these big buckets for like $200. It feeds a family of 15 and it lasts 25 years. If you and the reason I would stay away from that is because, for one, you don't know what it tastes like. Okay, so you spent $300-400 on this emergency food, and when it's time to use it, it's nasty. So food fatigue of eating nasty food, a food that you don't like, it's a real thing. So get food that you like and you eat, food that is easy to cook. Okay. The reason why it says easy, or the reason why I say easy, is because during this time it's going to be stressful. Just keeping it real. I mean, we will be praising the Lord because He's raining down hell on our enemies, but it's just the atmosphere in general is going to be stressful. So just keeping it short and simple. You don't want to be making these big meals that are make your kids kitchen messy. So without any refrigeration. So again, back to the example of hyperinflation, that's going to have an effect on the infrastructure. Okay, so like when we talked about Venezuela on Monday, they have rolling blackouts. So if you've been to a third world country, rolling blackouts are normal for those countries. America is going to be hell on earth, assuming rolling, because eventually you're going to start out with rolling blackouts, and eventually it's just going to be a blackout. Okay, so hyperinflation affects the infrastructure because the dollars are worthless. Okay, so without any refrigeration, because the food in your fridge is going to go bad, the food that you do have. Okay, now easy to cook. Now foods that are well, I would say low in sodium. Now your body needs sodium; it's important, but too much isn't good for you. So now the reason why you'll see some of these, if you look up survival foods and you see the sodium is like really high, is because it's designed for people, who are like typically on the go or camping or hiking. So if you're on long hikes, you're sweating a lot. That sodium is needed. It provides electrolytes to the body, which you need. Okay, just think of it as water is the gas and sodium is the oil. If you're thinking about a car engine, okay. So there have been, reports of people who died in the desert, and when they found their bodies, they still had a good amount of water um, in their canisters. So it's not the fact that they died of dehydration; it's just they died of not having enough sodium. So now the best foods to get, these are the best foods. The best foods to get, the ones that are high in nutrients, have a good balance of carbs, proteins, and fats. This will be your rice and beans. Those are the staple foods for any country outside the U.S. I mean, you go to Brazil, is rice and beans and something else. I mean, that's the joke when you go to Brazil. Always rice and beans. Okay. In most countries, it's rice and beans. Okay. Nuts, cashews, mixed nuts. Now, the rice, those have their starch, but it has energy. Okay. You mix that with the beans, then you got protein. Okay. Now, when you go to the canned foods, canned meats, chicken, salmon, um, excuse me, things that are kosher, canned fruits, canned vegetables, canned soups. Okay. Now, for this 2 week supply, you're probably looking at 20 cans. Now, that 20 cans, that's based off of a number of four. Okay. You're talking two adults, two kids. Okay. So you can kind of base it off of there. Powdered milk. I would stay away from cereal. You can if you want. Just me personally, I would stay away from it. In case of cereal, I would use oatmeal. Now, the reason I say cereal is because stay away from it is because there's a lot of reports of uh, Monsanto, whatever the hell that satanic food company is. They typically sprayed with pesticides. So I don't know how pesticides get in Frosted Flakes, but whatever. So oatmeal, uh, peanut butter, those are really good options. Those are high in protein and calories. Pancake mix. Now, if you get pancake mix, get the ones that just add water. So again, you want to go from the simplest way to process this or cook this food. Okay. Oh,
I don't mean to
can
cut.
then
Yeah, I don't mean to cut you off, but I want to make sure our people know what we're talking about. So when you say the first thing you said staple foods. So could you give them a brief rundown of what a staple is? Like what a staple food item is?
Okay, sure. A staple food item is like something that goes. It's like a common everyday place item. So it's a good foundation that gives you your nutrients, proteins, fats, carbohydrates, and it kind of goes with anything. So with, for example, when I say staple, so when I say like rice and beans, goes good with, you could put chicken, fish, um, you know, um, uh, flatbread. You can mix that in there with it. So, like the foundation, if that makes sense. Okay.
And
So,
those Salakia, and those are things that normally our people would necessarily pass up when you got to go get a bunch of things, but those are things that we most commonly need. Those are the
right,
main
right.
the main supplies. So we always run out to the store and we'll get something. We want of course the turkey, we want the pizza, we want things like
Hmm.
that, but it's good to always have the staples in your house. So that's why I want to make sure we clarify that we're starting off with the staples, and that's what brother Leo is running down, these staple foods.
Right. And the reason why, and I'm gonna get to that when I get to the worst foods. So the reason why I'm staying away, like, here's the thing. Now you can make a pizza. When I go into some of the other stuff, some of the other items. But to buy a bunch of frozen foods, again, one of the things you want to stay away from is foods that don't need refrigeration. Because again, when the power goes out, you're gonna if got a freezer in the back and you got like a storage freezer and you got all this stuff, all this food that needs refrigeration, the power goes out, you're gonna have to use that food up front like pretty quickly, because it's gonna spoil. So that's why everything I'm listing here, you can literally just store it in your closet. You can store it in, whatever extra closet you have under your bed. And again, this is extra. Um, and I'm going to show you how to build it over time. So, 2 weeks is the absolute bare minimum. I mean, I typically tell people 3 weeks is the bare minimum, but if you're just a little bit intimidated, 14 days is the absolute. Don't go, if you got less than 14 days, then yeah, you definitely need some work. That's what we're working on now. So now with I stopped at honey and syrup. Honey and syrup, those are good. It's a good psychological boost. You can add them to your pancake mix. You can add them to your oatmeal. And see the things that I'm talking about here. This can make one hell of a multiple meals that you can mix and match throughout the time that we're going through Jacob's trouble, or even not even Jacob's trouble, just hard financial times. You stock this up. While you're looking for a job for next place, you have a good amount of food at home that you can cook, that you can eat and cook. So these items I'm giving you, you can mix and match and create have a good breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So pastas, those are good. Now pasta sauce, you can mix it up, marinara to tomato, basil, things like that. Oil, you want to get some good cooking oil, not you want to stay away from like peanut oil and stuff like that for the deep frying, because you probably won't be doing a lot of deep frying. Coffees and teas, spices, condiments, bouillon cubes. That just adds variety. Because people, some people, they used to just say, "Oh, rice and beans," but if you don't have any seasoning, I mean, eventually, I mean, food fatigue is a real deal. I mean, it's a real thing that some people experience. It doesn't matter how hungry you are; eventually, your body's going to reject it. So, that's why you want to put some spices and bouillon cubes with this plan. Okay, nuts; those are easy comfort foods. protein bars, protein powders, and powdered milk. Those are good options because you just add water. Okay. So, again, if you're, that's one thing we did when the power was out because we, we could have cooked, but again, it just dealing with the water outage and power outage. My wife, she just made some protein shakes, so it's a good meal replacement. You're saving the other food, you're saving time, so you don't have to worry about cooking. You're saving trying to worry about cleaning, so that held us over. Okay, you want to add multivitamins. Okay, this is good for short term, what you need now, and long term for to shore up any deficiencies. Okay, so with that, you have the expiration dates. So this is why now the truth about expiration dates, if you're having cans, okay, just with cans, you want to the expiration date. Typically, if it's past the expiration date, it's still some good. It depends how long it's passed. So what happens after the two things are going to happen, one or two things, um, or three. The first thing is if it's past the expiration date, nothing's going to happen. You eat it, you'll be fine. You're not going to die. Now, when it gets to like milk and cheese, again, those need refrigeration, so that's why you want to stay away from those in terms of past the expiration date. But cans, as long as the can is tightly sealed. To, so if you see a can, let's say we're going through Jacob's Trouble, and all hell's breaking loose, and you find some cans. To tell if those cans, if you can eat from those cans, is for one, if the can isn't swelled. If the can isn't swelled, it's still some good. Now, if you click on the top of the can, like if you go to your house now in your cabinet now and grab a can and try to click on it to make that clicking noise, um, it won't make that clicking noise because air is not on the inside. So if the can is sealed and you're able to click it, that means air has gotten inside and is contaminated. So if that's not it, then you'll be fine. So let's go through some now. That's just some things on the expiration dates. So don't freak out about the expiration dates, but you do want to rotate your food on the based on the dates of purchase. So you want to use the older items first and push the newer ones to the back. So that's something that you will keep doing to build your 2 week supply, and you'll build more than your 2 week supply. So how to build a supply? Okay. Now, last week I talked about money saving tips in terms of you could share a membership with some of your friends or family on like Sam's or Costco's to buy in bulk. That's a good option. If you don't want to do that, Amazon is starting to open up their offerings from third-party sellers in terms of a lot of bulk food that Sam's has. Amazon is starting to open that up, so you can kind of avoid, the membership if you don't know anyone, or if you don't know anyone who wants to split one with you, or if you just don't want to go to Sam's or Costco's. So, for instance, let's do some math. Okay, let me go to the scripture real quick. Where were we? This is okay. So this is Revelations. So we did this last week, not last week, on Monday, about the hyperinflation. This is the Black Horseman. So this is Revelation 6, 5 through 6. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast saying, "Come and see." And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. Verse 6, and I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts saying, a measure of wheat for a penny, 3 measures of barley for a penny. See thou not hurt the oil and the wine. Okay. Now that verse 6, we're going to read it again in the New Living Translation. And I heard a voice from among the 4 living beings saying, a loaf of wheat bread or 3 loaves of barley will cost a day's pay. And don't waste the oil, the olive oil, and the wine. Okay, so a day's pay. Let's just use this for an example. We use this Monday, but we got some new people in the room, so let's just use this example again. And I'm going to show you how affordable it is now, before this horseman shows up, how affordable it is now to store your food storage. Okay, so it says a loaf of wheat bread or 3 loaves of barley will cost a day's pay. Okay, So today's minimum wage is still 7.25, and a full day is 8 hours. So 7.25 times 8 is $58. So a loaf of wheat bread will cost $58 during hyperinflation. Okay. So let's say you have the same job as we said earlier. Some people were saying, "Oh, or I've heard this before. Oh, I can't afford that. I can't afford to do 2 weeks." You can. It's you got to be a little creative. So 7.25, 8 hours is $58. That's gross. So take out taxes. We'll just cut it in half and say just say $24. We'll just say let's just say $25. It's not exactly half. So now if you go to Amazon right now, and you type in jasmine rice, gluten-free, um, uh, 20-pound bag, okay? A 20-pound bag of rice on Amazon costs $25.64. That 20 pounds can last you a very, very long time, okay? So this is the way we have to think about time versus money in terms of preparing. So now I just looked. It says order now. There's only 10 left, but you can find other items like this. So 20 pounds is a good price. I mean, 20 pounds is a good amount. That is more than 2 weeks worth of the staple foods, rice and beans. Okay, so you do that, and then you start getting your beans. You can get the canned beans; those are good options. Um, mix that in with your canned meats. Those are very good options. Now, with that, so you can see, it appears very daunting at first, but if you just start little by little, so you do it, you could do that way, or every time you go to the store, just grab 2 or 3 extra cans, and you'll be able to add that to your storage. Okay. So it may seem intimidating, but you can get this done. Okay. So again, have faith, be like the ant, be like the wise man, foresee the evil, and just get started. And like once you get started, it becomes very very easy. Now, here's some tips. You want to write these down. Now, if you're trying to go beyond, like, okay, I bought this can of whatever black beans and it lasts 2 years. If you're trying to go beyond that, you want to look at more long-term storage options. These are typically talking about and what is that? Making preserves. Okay. So if you look at I'm about to change it right quick. So if you look at my photo, one sec. Okay. There it goes. If you pull to refresh, that's an example of canning. So some of our grandparents do this or used to do this. They would can and preserve. Now that process right there, it lasts for God knows how long. It lasts a while. Okay. Now this process, you want to go to YouTube and type in canning process, okay? Because there's some things you got to buy. These types of jars you got to buy. There's a way to do it. Now you're not just going to take some carrots and put it in this can and say, "Aha, I got a 5-year supply of carrots." No, there's a way you have to do it. You have to boil it, and it's not hard. You just got to do it, and it takes practice. So I know some people that done it. My grandma used to do it. I mean, God rest her soul. It's like second nature. Now, if you don't want to do that, you want to look for other options. Another process is what is that? Mylar bags. Okay, Mylar, MYLAR bags. Those are like the silver plastic. They're like silver bags. You would seal them with an iron, that you iron your clothes. You would seal them on one end, stuff the food in the other end, and put some oxygen absorbers, and seal the other end. That makes it stretches out the longevity of the food. Okay, so that's another option. You can do vacuum seal. Okay, So I vacuum sealed some oatmeal, just some oatmeal that I use. I vacuum sealed it, threw it in the closet. It's fine, and I put some oxygen absorbers in there. That's just a different process. So if you don't want to do all that, that's fine. Don't get intimidated by it. Just keep building your 2 week supply to where once you hit 2 weeks, once you hit your 20 cans for the family that you have. Now, the reason I'm gonna go and keep saying that. Um, for the family that you have, after you get 2 weeks, then you're going to build to 3 weeks and then 4 weeks. And then, what it, I'm telling you, like once you start this process and keep repeating the process, you quickly build your supply way past 2 weeks. Now, um, we're going to get into some foods that to avoid. These are the worst foods you can get. And like the thing is, like after the winter storm here in Texas, when the stores started opening back up, and some of the stores that had food on the shelves, these were the foods that were gone, which makes no sense. Now, if you saw some of the pictures, yeah, the entire stores were ransacked, but initially these were the foods that were gone, and it's sad. You want to avoid junk food, okay? Flaming hot Cheetos, Little Debbie snacks, honey buns, highly processed chips and cookies. That stuff is the devil. You're going to get a lot of empty calories. It's going to make you sluggish. It's just not good. Those aren't staple foods at all. That's junk food, okay? So you do not want to store those foods. You do not want to store those long term. Also, you want to make sure that you start to wean yourself off this junk because, again, um, and also other vices. If you smoke, you want to get off of that. If you got a drinking problem, you definitely want to get off of that because, again, when Jacob's troubles comes, you're not going to have access to junk food, and you're not going to have access to vices. Um,
It's a
but
lot here. Also, fast food.
uh-huh.
Too many of our people love the damn Moabite. Love his food. Loving all these different other nations' food. We got to start being more dependent. Honestly, a lot of stuff they make, you can make yourself, as Brother Leo is bringing out. You know what I'm saying? The Moabite, he ain't got nothing on our people. So you can make a lot of that stuff yourself, but it's just, we got so comfortable with captivity that we feel dependent on all of these nations to go get food from them. You know what I'm saying? So we got to start weaning ourselves off of these fast food places. You know what I'm saying? And I know everybody love their Chick-fil-A, everybody love they spots they go to. They what's the other one? All little spots. Panera
McDonald's.
Bread. You know what I'm saying? All the little spots you go to. But listen, I've been making my own pizza for like the last, I want to say, 3 years, and I'm from New York, the place where pizza was created, and I don't feel they got nothing on me. You know what I'm saying? So like, you can listen. Do everything could be done through Yahweh Shem Yahshua, right?
Mhm.
It ain't nothing they got over us. So we got to start weaning ourselves off of that, man. We gotta start shutting these people down and preparing for these hard times that's about to hit. Because we depending on them now. When as we seen when the pandemic is shut down, everybody was crying. They're like, damn, man, I can't go get no Chinese food. I can't go to KFC. I can't go to Sonic. I mean, you listen. The more things of the world that you love, the more hurt you're gonna be when the Most High shut the world down. Right? You got
Come
it,
out
Leo.
of my people.
Come on.
Yeah, and I mean, there's just so many things that we don't think about now that goes into food storage. Because again, now Joseph in Genesis 47, Joseph was a righteous ruler. Okay, so he had a plan. Okay, yeah, you got to give me your cattle. Okay, now the people came to him and said, "Hey, we'll sell you our land and our bodies." Okay, now Joseph was a righteous governor. You do not want to sell your body to this government for food because you were not wise and stored. So, I mean, even if, you say, hey, so let's say you stored up to, 7 days, you're working to your 2 week supply, 7 days, day seven, all hell breaks loose. you did, I mean, you operated in faith, and you're going to be taken care of. That 7 days is going to be, the meaning of vast majority of people who will quickly sell their bodies for food. Now, that comes to again why I had your King Ben. You want to say something?
Con, I got two quick precepts just on
Sure,
that. What you talking about? Let me land me back on that.
sure. Go ahead.
Um, Proverbs 21:20, it says, "There is treasure to be desired and oil in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man spendeth it up." Right. So we know that the wise, will be blessed. They'll be smart in these times, right? Everybody know they, it should be hitting their accounts now. They little $1,400. You know, they getting a new, I guess the new order of their unemployment. New loans have been approved. Whatever's going on. If you working your job, listen. But I had to go get some staple items today, and hey, Walmart was packed. You know what I'm saying? You got people up there buying TVs. You know what I'm saying? People up there was, buying all type of foolishness. Nothing was staples for hard times. You know what I'm saying? People was in there, buying tires and stuff like that. I mean, and they may need those type of things, but when you ain't have this $1,400, what was you thinking about? What was your mind on? So soon as it comes, soon as the Most High send you something, you off to buy foolishness, right? I got one more precept. This is Proverbs 28 and 19. Um, and it reads, "He that tilleth his land shall have plenty of bread, but he that follow after vain persons shall have poverty enough." Right? So we know, monkey see, monkey do. You know what I'm saying? The brothers had a class um and God First Gang earlier about being circumspect, right? And being smart. Brothers shouldn't be out there buying, PlayStation 5s right now, man. Out there,
Oh,
getting all type of stupidity. You should be stacking up. You should be trying to learn how to learn how to survive, learn how to make your own food right now. These are the things that the brother is bringing out. Get with your wife, get with your rib, and learn how to put these things up, man. Store up food, non-perishables, and things like that. You know what I'm saying? This money should not be gone in a week, and you in your refrigerator empty, your cabinets is empty, and you hungry, ready to go out and look for some more money to head to the nearest Moabite, order some Moabite food, right? Good, you got it, King.
con. And with that, so here's the thing: when you talk about, um, um, so let me, I guess, cover that. So when everyone else is being foolish, you've been wise. This is some hard decisions you're going to have to make. Okay, so one is, that's why I in the title I put your in all caps. So you're going to have some people, and this is why we were talking about this morning on the mid morning brew um, news thing. Like for my family, I stopped. I mean, not everyone outside my wife. I stopped talking about the vaccine to my friends and family who've been scoffing, and I've been talking about we're the real Hebrews. We need to come back to the law, statute, and commandments. The real Sabbath is Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. Christmas is pagan, and they laugh, scoff, they talk their shit, whatever. So in terms of the vaccine, I stopped talking to them about it. Because again, the Lord reminded me, if they're not going to listen to you about this, so, the least commandment, they're not going to listen to you about a vaccine. And the same goes for food storage. You're talking about storing up food for X amount of unknown days for some disasters that the Bible talks about, that they're teaching something different. They're teaching they're going to get raptured. So again, stop talking about it. So I stopped talking to him about it. Now, the reason why, um, I was going to save this for another lesson, but it kind of, I must go ahead and say it now. It's perfect, and it ties right in. It's not going to take long. This is why you want to practice. The military calls it OPSEC, Okay, OPSEC stands for operational security. Essentially, it just means shut up. Okay, that's all it means. So when you start this 2 week supply, um, your neighbors are going to notice you're bringing in, hey, those bags look kind of, you know, extra, or you brought in two extra cases of water, huh? Like, what is he doing? They subconsciously it's going to start registering. Okay, so same thing with your family. Now, if you live with them and they're like, yeah, 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 they're going to thank you when it's time to eat it. So that's a good thing about that. Okay, they're going to thank you. They're not going to scoff. They may scoff as you do it, but when it comes time to eat, they're going to thank you. My family is just me and my wife in our house, so I'm talking for the rest of my family. Um, so the question is, it's a question that you have to answer, and it's a question that we all have to answer: is what are you going to do when they come knocking? Okay, so that is a very serious question. I mean, according to the parable, the 10 virgins, 5 said, "Go screw yourselves." In nicely terms, you had the same opportunity we had. You chose not to bring any. If we give you some, we're not gonna have enough for us and you, respectfully. And then they went into the wedding, and the door was shut. So again, that's a parable, but still, those 5 had a decision. They made a decision. So that's a decision that you have to make. So if you know, oh, my daddy, I know he's gonna come over here, and you decide to feed him, then you might want to stretch out that plan. So and also that neighbor who saw you keep carrying in those extra bags, and when they're pondering, with an empty house or food that's spoiled, they don't think about you and say, oh yeah, they're going to come knocking. Now here's the thing: if you decide to be charitable, again, this is completely, it's between you and the Most High, because I can't, there's a million and one scenarios that I'm not privy to in terms of your personal situation. So when it comes to if you decide to give them a can of whatever and feed them, you can assure you're going to have more visitors knock on your door. Okay, that person's going to tell somebody, who's going to promise not to tell anyone, who's going to promise not to tell anyone. It's going to get out very quickly. So again, you want to, that's part of operational security. OPSEC is just, use discretion. So that is definitely something that you want to consider, and that's a question that you have to answer. So I mean, we can't answer it for you. And if you choose to say no, I'm not giving the foolish anything because they had the same opportunity I have. That is between you. I'm not gonna Now, the Bible talks about this is I think Second Ezra 15. I think that eventually the knocking is going to stop, and then people are going to come in with guns. So that is something that you want to be prepared of. We're going to cover that in future lessons. So this is Second Ezra chapter 15 verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods, because the lack of bread and great tribulation. So I guess that answers your question right now. Should you help your neighbor? Because they're not going to have pity on you. So again, use wisdom. Definitely trust in the Most High. He's going to lead you. That neighbor, he may say, yeah, feed them. Okay. But it's going to get so bad to where people are not going to have pity on each other. So, keep that in mind. Now, everything he talked about in terms of survival and things like that, we're going to cover all of that in this Jacob's Trouble series. So just stay plugged in. King Ben, something you want to add?
Con. I just want to put some stats out there because, just what you said, a lot of people may think that, things is fine right now, right? So we always want to give sources, right? So if you go to the Salakia, if you go to the USDA, right? If you go to their website, they'll say at this time, it'll show access for food. It'll say at this time there are currently no nationwide shortages of food. Although in some cases the inventory of certain foods at your grocery store might be temporarily low before the stores can restock Food production and manufacture are widely dispersed throughout the U.S., and there are currently no widespread disruptions reported in um, in the supply chain. Right. So that's coupled. That's what they're saying. That's that's front page. Right.
Hmm.
But if you go to I'm bringing up an article. This article was published on December of 2020, right? This is 3 months ago, right? So just use common sense. Common sense will tell you that there has been no major improvement. Should have been no major improvement. The pandemic's still going strong. Job market is still in the toilet. So there should have been no improvement in the food production since that time,
Hmm.
right? Biden, his team is still lagging behind. They have not been able to catch up on anything that Trump have done or Trump has done. But just some stats here, right?
Hmm.
These are the hardest hit states as far as of of date of people surveyed of um that's able to basically buy food for their homes. So it's basically they call it food insecurity. So these are the top states. Okay, you got Arkansas at 19.4%. You have Oklahoma at 17.4%. You have Mississippi at 17.1%. You got Hawaii at 16.7%. You got Arizona at 16.2%, Maryland at 16.1%, Texas at 16%, Georgia at 15.4%, Alabama at 15.1%, and Nevada at 14.9, right? These are the hardest states. Now, we got a lot of states in between. A lot of those states ain't covering, definitely ain't covering the state I'm in. It ain't covering a lot of states, okay, that we know has been hit hard through this pandemic. So somebody lying. You know what I'm saying? On one page, they're saying that everything is fine. On the next page, we talking about from December. We know December as being it's a big wicked pagan month, right? For you got Christmas going into the new year,
Right.
right? So we know that the beginning of the new year, other than tax season, it's pretty hard. Because you know what I'm saying? You spent all that money. You trying to make all that money back up in the beginning of the new year. You spent all that money. Most of the people spent all that money during that time. We know we not because we don't believe in those pagan holidays. But most of America is running with those pagan days. So all that money gone, right? So this is the hard times. And we remember, the shortages that were shown in Texas, lines for miles and miles at food pantries, people waiting for hours and hours.
Yep.
So, these are the times that we in. This little stimulus money, it ain't gonna hold for so long. So the shelves is a farce. It's major shortages in this country. The famine is here, and it will pick up. It will continue to pick up. So just take in account those things, and just mentioning food pantries and things like that. A lot of our people don't realize in their local neighborhood they have food pantries. That
Hmm.
the USDA comes around to different neighborhoods and they give out food, a lot of different foods from different stores because it's a lot of things is about to expire or it's old and things like that. But these pantries have a lot of things that you can use, a lot of staples. And a lot of our people is very prideful. They feel like, I don't need that, or I ain't gonna go stand online, or I ain't gonna go get these things. These are things that are staples that can help your household and help with your budget. And it's not about you being poor. It's not about you being embarrassed. But a lot of these things go to waste. And I know a lady that's there, and I told her, I said a lot of things I really don't need. But she said you need to come and you need to tell people to come because these things we either throw out or we take home as much as we can. And these are things that you can stack up. A lot of these things are very good. So only thing you got to look is in your local listing, and you can find a lot of these pantries and a lot of these USDA um, meetings where they go to. It may be a center that they go to in your town, or your local city, and you can go there and they will give you, according to your household items, and you can use, choose what you need and what you don't, and you can give away to
Right.
another Israelite or so. So we got to stop being so prideful. A lot of our people, you may get stamps or not. You may, and you should be wise with whatever the Most High is sending you. Whatever He's allowing for you in this time, is He's allowing it for you to get prepared for what is to come. All right, I'm back. I'm gonna give it back over to you, Leo. I yield.
Mike, you
Hey,
something?
Leo, can I just bring out a article just to land me back off of what Ben said, and then just like one precept, just real quick?
Sure.
All right. So he talked about food shortages, and there was an article that came out in the New York Times yesterday. The title of the article is "I have no money for food. Among the young and hungry is rising." And it's talking about like France and across Europe, basically. And we, of course, knowing the scriptures, we know those things are also coming here as well. So it just talks about how, like, due to like the pandemic raging into like the second year, job cuts with families, and it goes into like a lot of different specific cases out there. It just talks about how like a lot of people don't have funds for food at this point. And I just wanted to bring out one quick precept. All right, so this is Job, and I'm going to start at verse 19. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. In famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of a sword. Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of a tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of a destruction when it cometh. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. So I just wanted to bring that out to talk about like the spirit that we're supposed to be in these days, with like the famine coming.
Yeah. No fear. Now, I'm so glad, brother. Y'all brothers brought that out, especially Ben with that the thing with the food banks. So this is what you want to do, because I had a friend. He was consulting for a food bank, and he told me, yeah, how it works. Now, the rich, he said, man, when Brother Ben was talking about we gotta stop being prideful. That's very true. The rich people, man, they go to those food banks. He said, one of my friends, he was a consultant for one of the food banks here in Houston. Well, we only have one. It's called Houston Food Bank. Um, and outside these food pantries, man, it's BMWs, man, and Mercedes outside, and they just stock up on the rice and beans, the tomato sauce.
Bring that out.
They put it in their car and they go home. And if you live in Texas, you know about HEB. So it's one of the largest grocery stores here in Texas. They get tax write-offs for donating to these food banks. So HEB donates 1 million pounds of food every year, and they get a dollar for dollar tax write-off. So with these food banks, and like he said, I mean, everything he said was 100% true. Like they need you to go pick up the food. They need you, because they don't, then the food bank. So for instance, Houston, if a church or a community center wants to open up a food bank, they go to Houston Food Bank. Houston Food Banks checks the area, see if there's no other food banks in that area. And if there is, I mean, like if there isn't, then they'll start giving that community center food. But the thing is, if that community center doesn't keep coming back, then they're going to suspend their agreement with the community center, because they say, well, not enough people are using it, therefore it must not be a need. So yeah, that right there, and like some guys, all the prepper videos, some guy was talking about the food banks, and he quickly got his 2-week supply very, very quickly by going to the food banks. And you just go up there. The thing is, they don't ask you any questions. You just go up there, like just go to Google right now, type in food bank and type in your state and zip code, and it'll give you some food banks in your area. It'll be a church or community center, something like that. Just go up there with your ID, so they can see your address or whatever, your zip code, make sure you're in the right area. And they won't say anything. Like, they're trained not to say, oh, you must grab this or you must grab that. So for instance, they'll have it, you just grab it, or they'll put it in a box. Every food bank is different, but here in Houston, it's set up like a grocery store, and you just go in and grab whatever you need. and that's it. You leave. So I mean, it's definitely you can grab a 2 week supply very, 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 very quickly by doing that, and it's free. It's definitely a good resource to use. Rich people do it all the time. I completely forgot about that. Thanks, Ben.
Con,
Because
con,
it's a very unutilized resource that won't be here forever. And so,
con,
yeah, they'll take it home or they'll throw it in the trash because, and the reason why they'll throw it in the trash is because it's way past the expiration date, or or they want to keep that partnership with that with that
con,
food bank. So in order to do that, they'll throw away the food and say, "Oh yeah, yeah, we had 15 families come this month, and it was like maybe one or two, and the rest of it is at home or in the trash." Go
con.
ahead.
Salakia. Also, yeah, I just want to bring out like, okay, so today I had an appointment, right? And I was scheduled to go to one of the USDA meetings. And like when I first started out, I was prideful, you know what I'm saying? I was like, man, I don't need that. I ain't gonna be going there online. And I went there and I talked with the sister there, and the sister was like, a lot of people is prideful. And when I got up there, I saw the mayor of our town up there. You know what I'm saying? I saw sheriff's deputies up there. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, these people up there, patrol cars up there. I'm like, yo, these people make good money. I pay these people salary. You know what I'm saying? And they up here getting this food, and like a lot of the things there, some of the things you can't deal with. Like the one that I go to is basically a truck coming from the major the places that supply the supermarkets. They're coming, the truck is coming from there, so the truck basically drops the things off. And I've seen things in this place that is actually have better dates on it than things in the supermarket, which is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of our people pass this up, and then they be, in the line in the store, pinching their pennies to try to get, supplies and get things for their household. So I was hurting today. Today I had an appointment. I was like, damn, I'm trying to figure out a way that I can make it. And I also go for a bunch of elderly people, that can't get there. That's another thing. So a lot of people that you may live next to, a lot of Israelites, a lot of people that you may know that they need things too. So the place that I go, they don't ask you no questions. Only thing they ask you is how many is in your household and what are their ages. You know what I'm saying? And they pack your car up. They fill up your trunk with all type of things, orange juice, from any type of thing, staples that Leo was mentioning, things like that. Only thing you have to do is look it up. So I was hurt today. You know what I'm saying? I'm still kind of hurt about it, but Most High will provide, you know?
All praises. Mike, you want to add something?
Yeah, I actually have a funny story about food banks. So I actually first learned about food banks in college, right? And you know, playing sports in college, working on the weekends, trying to make my money to kind of pay down my student loans. So, times were kind of hard. So somebody had told me, like one of my teammates had told me about food banks, Edomite, and basically he comes for money, and basically we went, and I was just blown. Like I saw like all types of elderly people and like rich people. Like a man parked like a Mercedes Benz, came out in a suit and was like shopping for like his stuff. And I was just blown that like all these people like knew about it, and like that information never comes out to our people that these options are out there. So I just wanted to bring that out real quick.
Yeah, man. Like y'all go there tomorrow, like first thing. And the thing is, they want your business because again, it helps them with their it helps them with their relationship with the food banks. So they want you. It's not like, oh, yo, Joe, oh, these niggas. No, 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 no. Take it, get rid of it, because they're sick of seeing that food, and it's kind of like there's a psychological thing it does to you when you just throw food away that could be going to somebody else, but just the information is not out there widely as it should be. So yeah, so how to building your food supply? Go to a food bank and just start racking up. And the thing is, you can go there like 3 days later. They're not gonna say a word. They're not gonna blink at all. So Just go up there and grab it. Because the thing is, if you don't, it's going home with them who already has a ton of food, or it's going in the trash. That's it. So um, that about does it for this lesson. I want to change it up a little bit. So I want to invite some people up to answer this question. If you can pull to refresh. What Brother Ben, King Ben, has in his profile picture, that's a vacuum seal. That's how you would seal your foods. Give it like that, take out the oxygen. So want to invite up a few people. This is the question. So here it is. You can see the question. I'm going to read it out loud. The signs of the impending collapse have run rampant on the internet. You have been paying attention and you know the collapse will begin tomorrow. You are stocking up at your local big box store on last minute preps that your family will need. While shopping, you notice all the people around you and you look into their baskets. No one is preparing for what will start tomorrow. Would you share your knowledge with the others? Why or why not? Now, for the purpose of this question, it is 100% guaranteed. So I don't want you to kind of think too much into it, like, oh, well, I might be crazy. It starts tomorrow. So who wants to answer this question? Come on up. Don't be shy.
Shalom, Akim. Y'all about
Shalom.
Shabrakta.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabrakatah.
Yahweh Hashem,
Going
Yahweh Barakatah.
My answer to that is kind. I will with my people. We actually did that today. We know about the storm that's coming. It's supposed to hit us tonight. Supposedly, it's supposed to hit Georgia, Atlanta area, metropolitan area tonight. The same storm that knocked out Texas, Mississippi, and Alabama. And me and my family, we went stocked up, because we pretty much do that pretty often. But we stocked up tonight on last minute stuff that we figured that we were gonna need. The essentials, waters, starches. Like you were speaking on, like staple foods, canned stuff. Stuff we wouldn't need electricity to cook with, different stuff like that. But while we was at the store, again, we noticed, people were not stocking up like they should have been. We went early in the morning, so we know most people, are either getting off work or they're like very last minute, and they don't think about stuff like this. So we went real early in the morning when the elderly folk go to stores, and that's when we got our supplies. But even like with the pandemic, when we were doing that, we were noticing like people were just buying like junk food, TVs, PlayStations and stuff. But today, I kind of felt in my heart, to let my people know, what's going on. Hey, you need to be getting this, getting that, or not saying this is what you need to do, because, that turns our people off. How I approach is, hey, such and such, this is about to happen. This big storm is coming, and it's supposed to affect 35 plus million people, and they're going to be without power. If I were you, I'd, get this and that, or you could get this and that. It ought to help just in case something like that happens, and people are more receptive to it, But that's what I would do. I would approach my people, right, our people, and share that information, whether they hear it or not, or whether they turn up their nose to you or not. At least you did, at least you said something, so the blood's kind of off your hand in a sense.
Khan, that's a good one. Sister RT.
Shalom.
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 Me myself, no, I wouldn't help other people. Only my people. I
Okay.
don't have time. I don't have time for them at all. Because
Okay.
if it was us, they would not be looking out for us at all.
Khan, all praises.
And Brother Kari, when is the storm supposed to hit? Because I'm in North Carolina and I've been hearing about this storm. I'm in Charlotte, so we do feel some of y'all's weather.
Yeah, I'll post the app and the information that I got all this stuff from. Also, it was on the news, but the exact time it's supposed to hit tonight, I don't know, but I'm seeing signs of it even now as we speak. Like it's like heavy fog on the highways. You can barely see anything, and we're getting like little flurries coming down now. It's supposed to be a thunder and ice storm. So I'll get the information, the exact information on like exactly what time it's supposed to hit tonight, and I'll let everybody know.
Okay, that'll work because it's been raining here all week and it's just been getting colder and colder.
It's also supposed to hit Florida as well.
Yeah, we usually get it. Us three states, usually we get the same storms in South Carolina
Con,
sometimes.
con,
Con, that's
Hey,
that's right. That's right. Because it's supposed to hit here. Our local government said that they'll be closed tomorrow for the storm. So it's supposed to actually start affecting us. It's been affecting us basically since last night we had heavy rain, and today it was really, kind of cold and cloudy. But we got an alert. I want to say this evening about the impending storm, like tornadoes and severe winds and things like that, and flooding. So we're supposed to get affected. I want to say, let's say it says here, between Slovakia is showing tomorrow around 4 p.m., 1 to 4 p.m. tomorrow, between 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. So basically throughout tomorrow, they're showing for us, and they're talking about winds as high as 75 miles per hour. So basically, the strength of a weak, a Category 1 hurricane. But in South Carolina, the main things that we have problem with is flooding. So that's how it's affect us. It's really bad down here because it's low country. So just
Slug it.
go ahead, Ken.
I got the. It's supposed to hit us at 12 a.m. Eastern time.
Con.
Yeah,
hey,
so
real quick,
if it's
I
gonna
just
hit
have
them, I'm sorry, if it's gonna hit y'all around 12 a.m., South Carolina will probably get it later on that morning, and we'll probably get it the next day.
Con.
is
Uh,
this supposed to hit Virginia too? Because I'm in Virginia and I haven't
Um,
heard anything.
Probably not. You probably won't feel it. You might get like residual rain and stuff from it, but you probably won't feel it.
right, because where it's going is it's going south. Now, if it changes directions, I'm not sure because even on the meteorologist was like they've never seen something like this before. Like it's sporadic. Well, not sporadic. It's like unpredictable. Like it'll change directions just instantly. It's supposed to sweep. My theory is it's supposed to sweep the eastern part of the U.S. Like the entire eastern part of the U.S. That's my theory on it. And just how it's like the storm's behavior is unusual like any other storm because it's supposed to hit Florida and then it's supposed to come back up towards Georgia. It's just weird. It's really weird. And even the reports that are coming out of Texas is just strange. Just like you got snow that doesn't melt and all kinds of folly. So I don't know what's in store with this. Lord willing, it comes with some chariots.
Con.
Or
I was
woman.
gonna ask, is
uh,
this the same storm? Is this the same storm that I saw like 3 tornadoes got like created basically in Texas like about 2 days ago? It was like three
Same storm,
tornadoes at once. Oh wow.
same
Okay,
storm.
no.
Because tornadoes, we're supposed to be on tornado watch as well. Like even now, yesterday, it was raining real bad. I live over in Conyers, Georgia. So, I'm like 30 minutes away from downtown Atlanta. So we was getting heavy rain, and my signal, even when having all bars, was just trash. Like I was on this app trying to read, and kept getting cut out. And today it's even worse, and it's not raining. So whatever's going on up there, it's already here. It just hasn't been unleashed yet. So
Well, we'll be praying for y'all, man. Y'all stay safe. Make sure y'all have y'all devices charged. Uh, One of the next lessons we're going to do is what to do during power outages, some of the ways to prepare for power outages specifically. So, nah, man, I mean, we'll be good. The Lord's got us. But yeah, it's definitely good to get the information out to our people, um, and, stay ahead. Sister Jada, you had a question, comment that you want to answer this question? What you got?
Shalom. I was just saying that I live in Mississippi, so right now we're under tornado watch right now. So yeah, it's pretty bad down here.
Con. Like, we'll be praying for y'all too. We know y'all, yeah, you get it pretty bad there too. I'm originally from Oklahoma, so we get tornadoes around from between April and May real bad. So, yeah.
So, Sister Salakia, Sister Jada, how do you feel about the question? What would you do if you knew that that the storms and you had this time? What would you do with this knowledge that you have? What would you do with it?
Um, I've already kind of been preparing because I've been hearing about Jacob's troubles for a while. So I heard about, well, ever since like COVID happened, I've already kind of been preparing or whatever. So the storm, I mean, I'm really not affected. Like you said earlier, if you trusting in the Lord and you're not, putting your fear into all this other stuff, then you good. So I'm not really worried about it.
Con. All praises.
All
Now, if
praise.
you were at the store and you knew this was going to happen, would you warn others, or would you warn everybody, nobody, or just your people?
I've tried, but everybody look at me as like the crazy person. I'm like the crazy person out of my family.
Welcome
I
to.
done warned all of them. Yeah, I done warned all of them. I
Well,
done
I mean,
told them to stop doing this, and they just think I'm crazy. So I just let it be.
yeah. Well, your hands are clean, so I wouldn't worry about it.
Right. Everybody thought
Con,
Noah was crazy too till they felt that first raindrop.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
con,
I be telling my friends too. I be like, look, y'all, because they be like, ooh, I wonder what I'm gonna be doing in like the next 10 years. I'm like, y'all, if you only knew, like, it's not finna get any better. And then they be like, oh, I'm so ready for this pandemic to be over. It's only gonna get worse. So and they're like, oh, well, you such a negative thinker. I'm like, but it says it literally. I don't get what y'all talking about. It's just they're comfortable in living in the world, so they don't want to like just accept the fact that everything is really gonna just be destroyed.
Con. And one thing I wanted to bring out, you when you were talking, it brought up a good point. The parable of the 10 virgins. Okay, that's something that just kind of makes sense. The five wise and the five foolish. The five wise are the Hebrew Israelites, and the five foolish are the Christian church, because they all 10 of them went to the marriage ceremony. Now the world, the wicked, they're not even showing up. They're not even thinking about it. The Christian church is saying, yeah, we got this. We don't need all of that. We don't need to keep the commandments. We don't need to stock. We don't need to practice the righteous acts. We're just going to show up to the wedding. And then when it gets down to it, the Christians, I'm telling you, the Christians are going to be the worst people when this really goes down, because that whole fairy tale that they were believing is going to go out the window. So
Sala-
those ones that are going to be, hey, give us some of your oil. Give us some of
Salak,
your.
Salakia, but that's true. But we got a lot of Israelite groups that's out there that's preaching the same stuff, man. I ain't gonna mention none of the names, but some of the camps is
Yeah,
telling
yeah.
us, that we shouldn't be, brothers shouldn't be stocking up, or don't do none of that. Go take the vaccine. You know what I'm saying? Everything's gonna be fine. Listen to Esau. So we got Christians and we got a lot of Israelites out there behaving like these so-called Christians, and they behaving
Right.
like Christians in the wrong way. They're not following Christ and the way that he moved. They're following these wannabe, Christ followers. So, we got a lot of Israelites doing that as well.
Right. That's true. And so, I mean, with this, I mean, the thing is, like, with the storing of food, again, you're not doing it in fear. So following, I mean, just storing food does not negate, does not mean you don't have fear, because the argument would be that the only time you go to the grocery store is every day, because you don't buy extra when you go to the store. So you only buy just enough for that day. And then the next morning, if you wake up, all praises, you go to the grocery store again because you're only concerned for that day. That doesn't make sense. So this will be our last question. Go ahead.
Salaki.
Mhm.
Did y'all bring out Ephesians 5 and 15?
No, we didn't. You got it?
Con.
Go ahead, bring it out.
It's Ephesians 5 and 15. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time because the days are evil. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. And be not drunk with wine, wherein is excess, but be filled with the Spirit. So,
Amen.
the scripture is telling us to be circumspect, being able to see all things at all angles, being wise in your understanding. Like we know about this. We know Jacob's trouble is coming. We know uh that the days are ahead are perilous, right? So it would be a wise man, to be prudent and to, prepare. That's just practical wisdom. So, in this thing we gotta have practical wisdom, like brother Leonardo was saying. You can't just don't be over righteous much, thinking, I ain't gonna prepare for these evil days, because that's lack of faith. No, that's false, right? Most High tells you to be wise. He gives you understanding so that you can do these things, right? So,
Right. It's not foolishness, it's wisdom. If you go, like, say you have to go shopping every week. Okay, yeah, you go shopping every week. Well, when you prepare for this Jacob's trouble that's coming, you're going shopping every week for to last you 3 months. It's the same thing. You're not. It's common sense. It's the same thing. You're not having faith. You're just preparing, and you're doing it with wisdom. I don't see how people say don't go shopping, don't prepare, because that means you don't have faith. What? That that sounds that sounds idiotic.
Well, also, basically when you going shopping every week, it could shut down at any time. So basically, you would have already gathered up most of the things that you really need. A lot of times you're just looking for things that you can continue to store away. You should not, when things shut down, be like, damn, I don't have this. You're basically at the, by being circumspect, you basically get in the things that you can survive also. It's nothing wrong with, you going out. It's some normal things that you need. We need, daily, toiletries and things like that. But you should have your supplies set up already. So, you're not going to be definitely not shopping like the normal person that's going out there, getting, hamburgers and pizza and cheese doodles. You know what I'm saying? Those type of people, they're going to be shopping every week. They're going to be stuck when everything shuts down. And as we know, within a flash, everything can shut down just like that. It happened. We have experienced it. If anybody that ever lived through a blackout or just a regular power outage, I've been through it all. You know what I'm saying? Last week, like we had the class on hyperinflation. Anybody that ever went through a blackout I don't know if anybody remember the one from I want to say it was anybody living on the East Coast. It had to be around 2000, 2001,
2004?
2000. I think it was around
Yeah.
2000, 2001, 2002.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, around 2000, around that time. And listen, it was out for like at least a couple of days, right? Like at least a day or so. It was, they was selling bags of ice for $15 in New York. $15 for a bag of ice.
Right. That
In the middle of
blackout hit
summer.
New York. Yeah, we didn't feel it, but y'all was getting it. It was hot too.
It was from like Detroit all the way into New York, New Jersey. I mean, it was wild in the middle of the summer. I mean, in the middle of hot ass summer. In New York, it ain't like the South. You know what I'm saying? When you got, when it's hot in the summer and you ain't got no AC and the smell of that trash hit you, it's like, listen, it's like Jurassic Park out there. It's crazy.
Right.
So
I'm from Jersey, so yeah,
yeah,
I remember
con,
that.
con, So we gotta listen. We gotta. They had a lesson today, and I ain't gonna be too long. I'm gonna turn it back to Brother Leo. They had a lesson in the God First Gang Room about being circumspect. The brother Kari brought out that we gotta be circumspect in this time, not reprobate. We cannot be foolish in our thinking, in our wisdom. We gotta be having faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai to guide us in what we need to do. We don't want to have that mindset where we're going to the store and we're thinking on things that's carnal. You know what I'm saying? Looking to get carnal things, right? We want to be that the Most High God us step that you need these type of things. You need, you need to get like some candles. You need to get like something that can hold you down, because anybody that's thinking that these lights and they're gonna go out and they just prepared to go on. You listen, when your lights go out, you should be prepared for them to go out and stay out. That's how we gotta move.
Con,
Prepare for them to stay off and completely. We want to get up out of here. So every time the lights go out, honestly, I'm celebrating. I'm like, is this it? Is this it? I'm listening. I'm listening for the sky to crack. So we gotta be prepared. We shouldn't be, when the lights go out, be sitting, pacing back and forth, twiddling our thumbs like, damn man, I need my Wi-Fi back on. Damn man, I need, I mean, I understand everybody got to work and stuff like that, but us as spiritual people, us as the Most High's chosen people, us that's in the scriptures every day, every time the lights go out, we like, man, we get a little tingle. Like, yo, this is probably it. I'm ready. That's how we're supposed to be. That's being circumspect in these times. Go ahead.
Look,
You got something, Kari?
yeah, one more precept and then I gotta drop down. This is Ecclesiastes 11:1. Cast thy bread upon the waters, for thou shalt find it after many days. Give a portion to 7 and also to 8, for thou knowest not what evil shall be upon the earth. Right? So, this is coming out of a book of wisdom, Ecclesiastes, right? It's letting you gotta be prepared. You gotta store. You gotta invest into your like the future, right? Whether that be in good deeds with somebody, getting good with certain people, right? Certain contacts, or putting food in your storehouse, right? We would be saying Joseph didn't have faith when he was given a gift of discernment, when discerning dreams, right? We're given, understanding. When he discerned Pharaoh's dream of the famine, what did he do? He prepared and put food in the storehouse, right? And therefore he saved Egypt and saved his family as well, right? So, the days of evil are coming, and we know this. We have this understanding. So, with these tools that Most High has given us, understanding, right? The secret things are revealed unto us, right? Deuteronomy 29:29. Put that to use, right? You got to do what you got to do. But
con,
I yield on that.
Yeah,
Leo, I got one more precept. I ain't gonna
sure.
hold you up. I just got one
Good.
more, and I'm gonna turn it back over to you. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 37, and Salakia. This is Psalm 37 and 24. Just let me back in on what the brother said. Um, I'm gonna start at 34. Sorry, 24. Though though he fall, he shall not utterly Salakia. He shall not be utterly cast down, for the Lord upholdeth him with his hand. Right. So it is gonna be times in this upcoming Jacob's trouble that we're gonna, we're gonna have mishaps. It's things that's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? The lights is gonna go off, right? It's gonna be things that, hey, raiders are gonna raid your house, right? The great multitude from Second Ezra 16, right? They're gonna be knocking at our door, kicking in the door. It's gonna be us against, they're gonna come to our door and put their foot in our door. And it's going to be us to protect our household against them getting in and getting whatever's in our household, our women, our children, the spoils of our house, right? So we're going to be dependent on the Most High, right? Verse 25, it says, I have been young and now I am old, yet I have not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. So that's the faith that we're talking about in these times. You be spiritually prepared. Have your bags. I always say, have your bags spiritually packed and be ready. Have that faith in this time. The Most High, he has never forsaken his righteous, right? And we could be circumspect in that. I yield.
hey, I just had a quick precept of Kahari's first one in Ephesians. I think it was 5:15. This is Colossians 4 and 5. When Kahari went into basically keeping the times and being understanding of the times. Colossians 4 and 5. Walk in wisdom toward them that are without, redeeming the time. So, we are in the scriptures basically every day. So we understand the times we're living in, but we have to walk in wisdom around those that are without. as the scripture says. But with that, I yield.
Con, all praises. Now, with the power outage, the next episode, we're going to cover the difference between a cyber attack and an EMP and how to prepare for a power outage, because a cyber attack or an EMP will definitely affect the power. So we're going to discuss the difference between the two and how to prepare for either one. The worst case scenario is an EMP, and we'll discuss that, and how to prepare for power outages. If you could pull to refresh, this will be the last question, and then we'll wrap it up here. So it reads, this is your last trip ever to the supermarket. You are shopping in your local superstore when news breaks out that nuclear bombs have gone off in the 20 largest cities in the country. You quickly realize that all hell is about to break loose. You have about 10 minutes before the mobs hit the store. Time only for one cartload before you have to get away. Money does not matter at this moment. What do you fill your cart with and why? See if y'all been paying attention. Sister Jada, what do you fill your cart with and why?
I'm gonna get the non-perishables. Then I'm gonna get. I don't really have weapons, but you said so. I'm thinking of Walmart because they have everything. So I
Okay,
was
yeah,
gonna like go. I was
yeah,
gonna go to like the weapon aisle just in case the mobs want to like beat me. Cause I know me as a shopper. When it's I don't really feel, but like when I'm being rushed, it kind of takes me longer. So I feel like on my way out, I might have to run into them. So I might have to use one of my weapons, and then I'm gonna get all the stuff, and then what I've been like for Jacob's Troubles, what I've been planning is to go out into the wilderness because eventually, like, they're gonna start like raiding houses and stuff and doing martial law and all of that. So after I get all of that stuff, I'm just gonna go into the wilderness and wherever the Most High leads me, that's where I'm just gonna go.
Con. And we're going to cover that too on camping and things like that. So just stay plugged in. Sister Miranda, you come here to answer the question.
Thank you for having me. I would say try to get some dry food. Like you were saying earlier, so I kind of missed some of it, like rice and beans, things like that, non-perishable food.
Con. That's those are good options. Sister RT, what do
I
you
would
grab?
get perishables, dry foods. I already have weapons, so I don't need that. I would get oil,
That's good. Yeah.
first aid kits,
Yeah.
bandages, and all that extraness, and cough medicine, and all that stuff. And basically just perishables.
Okay. Those are good. Yeah, it's good option. So yeah. So Brother King Ben, you want to add something?
Yeah, Salaki, I want you to, if you can, go over, because a lot of our people, as far as, one of the main things that they get is water, and a lot of our people don't know how to buy water. They just think just getting the regular bottled water helps, but it's a lot more better choices. So I want you, if you
Salakia,
can,
I'm
briefly.
sorry.
Go ahead, sister. What's up? Go ahead.
When you were saying the waters, I
Hmm.
actually just recently started doing the alkaline water, but
Hmm.
I watched videos on the ones that were fake and real, so I get the eternal one. But alkaline water is good for your pH, so that would be
Con,
good.
yeah, Leo, that's basically what I wanted you to go into a little bit before you wrap up, just about certain waters that to get, or things that they can add other than just going buying a big case of bottled water and think they're gonna be straight.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna save water because like it could be a whole nother lesson, but since we're here, yeah. So with the water, I mean, I can say this next time for for people who are for new guests. So with the water, there's certain ways to store it. Now with the alkaline, I mean, yeah, those are good options. You want to research what your store has in terms of alkaline water that balances your pH. But in terms of like long-term water storage, there's some things to consider. So first, the U.S. I mean, the average American goes through about 5 to 10 gallons of water per day. That's cooking, flushing, taking a shower, brushing your teeth, washing your face. I mean, there's a lot of water going down the drain that we use. So um, you do not want to underestimate how much water you need. So with that, the plastic bottles that you get, like the cases, those are good for short-term to mid-term storage. Mid-term, talking about a few months, okay? If you're talking about longer-term storage, you want to have waters in two different, I guess, categories. So drinkable things you're going to drink. So you can, if you just go to Amazon and type in water bricks, you can find 3.5 pound or 5 pound water bricks. So they're stackable. You can put them under your bed. You can stack up your closet. You can, they interlock, and that'll be one way to store it. The other ones will be the 5 gallon, Ozarka, or ones that you see in the office buildings. So you can buy those. Those are $13 typically at Walmart. If you bring in an empty container, it's half off. So you've just like recycling the containers, half off. So you can start using your money wisely to build that up. If you got a garage, you can put it in the garage. If you have an apartment, you could probably put one or two, manage your space, and then put water bricks under your bed or something like that. Now, so I said this on week one, if you ever run out of all water, you just went through all your water, okay? Every water heater has about 30 to 50 gallons of water in that tank, in that water heater stored, okay? So, when you're running your water, it fills up that tank, and then it, saves it to when you need hot water. Okay, so that's something that you can use and potentially drink if you just don't have any water. You can't leave your house, whatever. It's last resort. Okay. So this would be good for people who are experiencing a power outage who didn't have the opportunity to prepare. So with that, you just turn off, like it's a little faucet at the bottom of the water tank. You just turn it on, the water's going to flow out. Now with that, you want to filter that water out. So get some filters and filter that water out, because there's a lot of sediments at the bottom. So with the sediments at the bottom, you can filter out those sediments, and then you can boil that water, and then you will have water that you can use. So that's just a good tip to cover. Now, yeah, the whole, the alkaline and all that stuff's good. Definitely get it if you can. If you don't worry about it. Your body is going to make up the deficit in terms of the food you eat, the vitamins, things like that. So that is just some things to think about. We're going to do another lesson going into water storage and how to filter water. There's a lot of ways to filter water. The coffee filters is just one way, but yeah, water is definitely something that a lot of people, that Americans go through more than any other country. So that is definitely something to consider.
Cons.
So with that, I don't have any more today. I appreciate you guys coming in. Again, follow the moderators, become a member of the club. You can go down to our names and follow the sister clubs that we have going. The next lesson, it's Wednesday. This is Wednesday, right? Okay.
Cons.
So the next lesson I'm probably going to do will probably be Monday. That'll cover power outages and how to prepare. King Ben, something you want to add?
No, I'm waiting for you. I'm just going to make an announcement after you finish up.
Okay. So we're going to cover power outages, because it'll take me some time to get it over, to get the lesson. I don't want to do a lesson on the Sabbath, and then the weekend, there's a lot of debates and stuff people might be going on. So Monday is episode 4, cyber attack, EMP, and how to prepare for a power outage. So we're going to have more questions like this thought-provoking questions for you to think about. I got millions of these, so please stay tuned. And we got millions of lessons to make sure that we're adequately prepared in the spirit and in the natural for Jacob's trouble. So with that, I yield and turn over to King Ben.
Khan. All praises, all praises. Brother Leo been putting in the work, to keep our people informed, and that's what this platform basically is, to keep our people informed, not through the lens of wicked Babylon that we are currently captive in, but through the lens of us as Israelites and what we need to be prepared for, how we need to be circumspect, and just you know uh anchored in this truth. We got to be set firm in this truth. you know um any questions, any questions from the crowd on the topic at hand, or any just dealing with Jacob's trouble? We covered 3 lessons so far. We gave a basic outlook of Jacob's trouble. What is Jacob's trouble? The second lesson was hyperinflation, and now we are dealing with food supply. The one that's coming up will be based on power outage, and difference between I believe you said a EMP,
Yeah,
Leo?
EMP and cyber attack.
Cyber attack, and both are very, very, very serious. Both is coming to America, not no pun intended, but both are on the way, right? That's what they setting up for right now. So any questions on any of the topic at hand, or anything dealing with Jacob's trouble? Anybody got any precepts dealing with the topic at hand or anything? Also, uh there'll be a room starting shortly, a chill, a relax and chill room. It'll be starting over, I believe it's going to be on the Shalom and Chill platform. Not sure, I'm still waiting for that. It should be appearing, y'all should be getting alerts soon for that. Coming up, if anybody have any questions, they can DM the brothers, brother Leonardo, myself, or brother Mike. Make sure you follow the moderators. Make sure you tap on the little house. It should be over, I believe I'm in the middle, so it should be right over my head. Become a member. Nominate someone to also become a member. We're going to be bringing out many, many different topics. We're still putting together the sisters segment, where the sisters are going to be discussing growing their own foods, different foods that they can make in these times for their families, also canning, things like that. A lot of things to prepare for this time. Our women are very important in the running of the household. So hey, if a lot of times, if they ain't feeding us, we not eating. So we we can't do what the sisters do in the kitchen. So we definitely need our women to be on point with those things, to make to keep us us warriors strong in battle, right? So with that being said, tomorrow we'll be back with the mid-morning brew at 10 to 11, with them them topics, them crazy topics, everything that's going on in the world. I did have a closing precept that I wanted to bring out. Just as talking about the way we need to be, and what we need to be prepared for, right? This is Luke 12, Luke chapter 12, and I'm gonna start at 37. It says, this is one of my favorite precepts. It says, blessed are those servants whom the Lord, when he cometh, shall find watching. Verily I say unto you, that he shall gird himself and make them to sit down to meat, and will come forth and serve them, right? So we got to be, as we, the theme of the day, I want to say, is to be circumspect in this truth, right? As the lesson, was on our sister club today, the moral of the story, you to be circumspect on the God First game. you know, we want to be those servants watching. We want to be prepared in that mindset when Yahweh Shah show up, right? We want to be cemented in this. We don't want to be following after folly or be, you know, we don't want to be reprobate. We don't want to be just, in foolishness. We want to be able to sit down and meet with Yahweh Shah when he comes, and him to recognize us. We want it to be where the Most High tells Yahweh Shah, don't don't leave that chariot. Don't let the chariot leave. Sister Sister Rhoda or Jada or Miranda. You know what I'm saying? We want to be of those. Don't let the chariots leave without picking them up. You know what I'm saying? When Yahweh Shah come back, we want to be of that flock, right? This is the third verse 38. It says, and if he shall come in the second watch or come in the third watch, right? And if no one knows what those watches is, right? In ancient times, the men used to sit up on the wall, right? And you had times of the night where the soldiers or the watchmen would sit on the wall, and these would be the certain times of hour. I believe, on roughly thinking, I believe like first watch would start from 6 evening. So basically it'd be from 6 to 9. And then I think second watch will be from 9 to 12. And third watch will be from 12 to 3. And I believe the fourth watch will be from 3 to 6. Right. I believe I might be wrong. So, but I believe that's how the watches was back in those times. But, and, a new day was evening to evening. Right. So, and I'm gonna read that again, and this is 38. And if he shall come in the second watch or come in the third watch and find them so, blessed are those servants. So by saying that him coming in the second watch, right, or the third watch, that means he's gonna come in when we least expect it. Come in those times. Come in the late hours of the night. We will be doing what he wants us to do, what we're doing now in preparation, right? Victory favors the prepared. So that's what we want to be doing. That's we want to be prepared for Yahweh Shai as best as we can when he comes. We want him to sit down and meet with us, right? We want to be of those blessed. We want to be, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, studying, fasting. We want to be waiting diligently, looking at the skies for him, preparing our households, having our children and our households in order. These are the things we're doing. That's why this platform is here. This platform ain't for the folly down the hallway. This platform is what we have going on right now. Our people in this room in preparation, preparing for Yahweh Shah to come back and save us from our enemies, right? So with that said, I'm gonna say, shalom, and I pray everyone have a good evening. We're gonna head over to the Shalom and Chill room. I believe it should be let me see. It's gonna be starting up. Leo, I'm gonna start the Shalom and Chill room, and I'm gonna go over there and you close this one down. Con?
Con.
All right.
Shalom.
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 Shalom.